Hello and welcome to Östersund and the Air Force Museum, the Swedish Air Force. I stand here with two fighter jets, and today I would like to show you lots of planes, of course, and then there are also some tanks and more to show you. I hope you enjoy this video and please subscribe and like as always. Thank you. Alright, so welcome in to this amazing museum where you can see its helicopter. Flygvapnet is the Air Force, the Swedish Air Force, but it's in Swedish. The Air Rescue. We have been joined by Pelle,
Yes, hello.
and he know everything about this and all the different planes in here. Um, um,
Red Cross.
Rare, yes.
Yes.
So this has been like an ambulance plane back in the history.
Yes, the Swedish Air Force had three Northern Norsemans, but this example is not the original Swedish Air Force Norseman. This aircraft comes from Norway. There is only one preserved Norseman in Sweden, original, and that is at Flygmuseum in Linköping. So this is restored to look like a TP-78, as it was designated in Swedish Air Force.
That's great. No, it's very interesting. And here we come to a very special looking plane.
Yes, and this is a Clem 35, a German construction from the beginning, but this is built in on license in Sweden, built as a basic trainer that they used at the F5 wing at Ljungbyhed in Skåne in Sweden. So this one aircraft is owned by Flygmuseum in Linköping. So this is here on loan.
Great. So we also saw the helicopter when we came in here. So that's
Yes, it's a Augusta Bell helicopter, popularly known as a Vietnam helicopter, and it was used in the Air Force as a rescue, search and rescue helicopter for air crews that had been ejected from aircraft or bailout. So when a Viggen or Draken or Lansen is crashed in the woods in the mountain, the helicopter will go up and find the pilot that has been alone in the woods.
that's amazing.
Sort of. Yes.
Yeah.
So every wing had a couple of helicopters only for that purpose.
Right. That's very interesting. And then we come to this plane.
Yes, it's an SK-16 Harvard. So the Swedish Air Force used this as a Type 2 trainer. The pilots began in their education on simpler aircraft, and then they moved on to this trainer. So this is a Canadian-built Harvard and designated SK-16 in Swedish Air Force. So, and this aircraft is the museum's property.
Oh, great.
No, this is a J-28 Vampire. So first it was used as a fighter, attack aircraft, or mostly as a fighter aircraft in the Air Force during the 50s, middle of 40s to middle of 50s as a fighter. But in the end of the Vampire era, it was used at Ljungbyhed for general training for the students there at the Air Academy.
Right. And here is a very classic Swedish plane.
Yes, it's the SAAB 29 Tunnan, and this is the last version built. It's the F version with afterburner and it was flying at the F4 wing between 1955 to 1967. So this is an original Tunnan. The most of the airworthy Tunnans, when they start flying it operational in 1967, they were rebuilt as target tugs. But this one is original configuration with 4 cannons and equipment. So it's never been modified.
Right.
So we have put on, it has 4 cannons, 20mm Hispanos, and we have rocket pods with rockets and fuel tanks, external fuel tanks.
This is also one of the planes you remember?
Yes, it's a SAAB 32 Lansen, built the first as an attack aircraft and reconnaissance aircraft, and then they came with the J-32B with a hotter engine and a hotter afterburner and bigger guns. So it had 4 30mm guns as in the fighter version. So this has also been rebuilt as on the Flygdivisionen for jamming purposes, jamming radio traffic and radar and stuff. But now, since it came here to the museum, we have rebuilt it to original J-32B standard as it was when it flew on F4 wing. So we have put in a radar in it and a couple of guns, and the cockpit is fully rebuilt with original panels and gun sight, etc. from the original J-32B configuration.
Right.
Yes.
We will take a quick look in the cockpit. So right here is the cockpit, and it's very interesting to see, since it's like the heart of every airplane, as I used to say. It's 2-person aircraft. And we go to the next plane.
And except for rebuilding it with original cockpit items and radar and guns, we have also repainted the left side of the aircraft so it would look like when it flew at F4 wing between around 67 to 71, 72. And then it had the station signal 01 on the fin and the 4 fighter wing at Östersunds Airbase. And below the wing we can see a rocket pod, a fighter rocket pod with a lot of rockets in it, and we can see a 30mm gun that the Lansen was equipped with, four of those, that type of guns. And on the right side between the rocket pod we can see the Sidewinder, the first version of Sidewinder that was used in the Air Force, Robot 24 as it was designated in Sweden. It's an infrared robot.
Right. Very good. Great info. And this is one of the planes you remember from seeing at air shows, etc.
Yes, and this is the the J-35 Draken, and this is the D version that was used on the F4 wing. So this is very good condition, complete with guns and engine and cockpit, fully complete, and with drop tanks too. So that type flew from the wing between 1972 to 1984 when the Viggen came to the wing. And that type is also equipped with the Sidewinder missiles that was used as the fighter robot.
Right.
It can also use the fighter rocket capsule that was mounted on the Lansen we saw earlier.
That's great. So here we go. That's actually me. No, I'm joking. This is the cockpit. I will turn it like this. It's quite little space to sit there, as you can see. It's quite amazing built. And then we have something very little.
Yes, and this is a SG-38 glider that was used for basic training in gliders. So the pilot sat all open, no canopy at all, and was winched up or towed up to around most 50 meters height altitude,
Oh wow.
and then try to get down safe and alive. Very brave man.
Yeah, you can say.
Yes.
Amazing. And then we have this little one, but it's actually a, yeah, what is it?
It's a link trainer. It's an American construction and used in the Swedish Air Force as a, you can say, navigation trainer. So the pilot sat in there. He couldn't see anything outside normally and was trying to navigate with instruments and a clock. So he can then on the instructor that sat beside the link trainer could see on a big map. It's a thing called crab, how the aircraft moved in the map, depending on speed and course. So simply, it's not a flight simulator as a flight simulator, but as a navigation simulator, you can say.
Right. So this is the next room.
Yes, it's called Viggen Lansen because this hangar was built for getting some of our Viggens. We have 4 or 5 complete Viggens, and to get a couple of them in house. But here we can see nearest us is a J-35 cabin that was used on F4 wing as training for fire crews to get the pilot out of the cockpit in case of emergency landing on airfield. So after the unit was disbanded, we got the cabin here. So this is very popular among visitors to get to sit in a real aircraft, at least a bit of a real aircraft.
Yes.
And beside that, we have a bigger thing. It's a Viggen. Well, not the cockpit section. It's the whole half of Viggen, you can say. And this is the reconnaissance versions of Viggen, the SF-37 with the cameras in the nose, no guns. And visitors are also allowed to sit in this. Very popular thing to do.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes.
So we will take a short look at that cockpit also, of course. So hang on. So here you can see the cockpit, the seat of the cockpit, the pilot seat, down to right. And there we go. Here is the whole cockpit. Quite amazing. And we will continue to the next plane. So then we have a fire truck in the middle.
Yes, and it's a fire truck called Räddningsbil 913 in the Swedish Air Force. So this car has been used on the F4 wing, but it it's owned by Flygvapenmuseum in Linköping and went up to F21 in Luleå. There is an organization there that has restored it to driving condition. So it's even registered in the civil car register. So it's very good condition. Then it came back to its home museum a couple of years ago.
Right. Yes. One big of a plane.
Yes, it's a attack version of the Viggen AG-37, and this aircraft has not flown. The type has not flown on F4 wing. So it came from the 15th wing. It's at Söderhamn in Sweden. So when they disbanded that unit in the late 90s, they flew this aircraft and landed on the airfield just above where we are now. So we have completed it with the armament. It's rocket pods. Robot 04 is a naval robot for sinking ships. And bomb capsule 90 BK-90, it's a bomb that today is not in use because it's forbidden, because it contains small bombs. So, but during the Viggen era it was allowed. And below the aircraft is a big, looks like a big bomb, but it's a extra tank with fuel in it.
Right. And then we have one here.
Yes, that's the fighter version of the Viggen, the JA-37, which was used on the F4 wing. So this aircraft too landed on the airfield beside us here. They did an exercise around the aircraft, so they changed an engine in the field and put another engine in it and drove it. So this aircraft is very good condition. We also have hung some missiles on it, so it will look like when it was used as a fighter. You can see in the bottom far away, you can see some grenades hanging down. It's ammunition for the 30mm gun that's mounted inside the fuselage.
Right. And then we have a helicopter.
Yes, it's a helicopter too in Sweden, it was called, and it's an Alouette. Also used as a rescue helicopter for air crews that have bailed out. So this aircraft has a number 6 on it, so it means that we had flown on F6 wing in Karlsborg. But this type flew at the F4 wing in the 60s, 70s, until the helicopter 3 came and replaced it. So this is a French helicopter.
Right. So it's a lot of planes here.
Yes, and we have a couple in storage too, and some aircraft outside. So in total, we have around 30 aircraft at the museum, either on exhibition or in storage.
So I will thank you a lot for this tour. It was amazing that it was possible to come
Yes,
here.
it was a pleasure.
And I hope that everyone enjoyed it as much as I do. And please like and subscribe. And see you later.